There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 102 of Sci-Fi Talk in the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm Sean, Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve, and tonight we'll be discussing episode 11 of season 3 of Dark Matter.
Yay! Oh god, this episode, I'm like, I was so mad through most of it. I was yelling, and I'm like, what is happening? But before we jump into all that, let's talk about the ratings.
Alright, episode 11, that is 0.14 in adults 18 to 49, 0.602 million viewers, making it the 67th cable show of the evening.
Now, you don't have any live plus 7. Didn't we have that last week?
Yes, and none this week. And it just drives me bonkers.
But don't forget to tweet with the show and hashtag dark matter.
Yes, our esteemed showrunner Joseph Malozzi definitely stepped it up today by tweeting out some, shall we say, information about season 4 and where things were going, and just to try to fire the fandom up some more for hitting sci-fi with "We need a renewal now."
Are they whetting our appetites? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And if you're tweeting, they are doing the hashtag Renew Dark Matter.
Yes, we are.
So,
big time.
Yes, because we do want more, especially if he's teasing it out. God, that sucks. Don't tease it. Just give us the next season.
Yes.
All right, let's jump into episode 11. The Raza crew and a Mikkei ship investigate a seemingly abandoned Dwarf Star Technologies lab and find dozens of simulant biosynthetic organisms like 2 in stasis, as well as a mysterious anomaly that induces violent mental disturbances in 3. Hostile aliens from another universe speak to 3 through the anomaly, telling him that they plan to use the simulants as host bodies for their invasion. The Mikkei, second in command, a simulant herself, assassinates her commander and opens the anomaly to allow the aliens through. Dun dun dun. To prevent the alien invasion, the Mikkei ship's doctor calls for a nuclear strike on the lab. Although 2 is still in the lab at the time, the Raza crew are unable to prevent the bombing. At the last minute, 2 is rescued from the bombing by being kidnapped by Alternative Boone. I couldn't figure out. I'm just kind of skipping there. I'm like, who the heck grabbed her?
Right.
So,
because we didn't see that. We see her being shot and then dragged off.
Right. So it was crazy. So it starts with 3 having a nightmare. Like, he wakes up and he's having just a weird morning. He has a strange sensation that he finds himself facing a wall that's not a wall. It's like a weird black hole, and things
a red gooey black hole.
And things want out. And then he turns and sees a girl strapped to a chair, which I keep thinking, is this somehow one of those memories that within our discussions that we've said, could it have been a fake memory, a real memory, whatever his personality that was deleted? And again, that's going to be in quotes because Steve gave a really good thought that maybe those were planted memories last episode.
Right.
But could it be something that he has actually experienced?
Oh, it's definitely yes.
So I'm like, which person is this? Or, and hear me out, I started to think, well, wait, if the Boone from the other universe is in ours, what if somehow their memories are like merging and overlapping? And so 3 doesn't know what's his and what was other Boone.
Ah.
So I had no idea what was happening because this girl's like, they're coming, we're too late. And then all these like tentacles fly out of her mouth. Then he wakes up. And I jumped, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? What weird... Is this Alien Covenant? What are we watching? Weird stuff coming out.
Oh, we have to think back to season 2, episode 9.
All right. Everybody go look that up. You can pause the show. Because I'm going to have to go look it up too.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't know what was happening. It was just crazy. And then all of a sudden, why are we here after all? Why are we going to investigate Nova 17? Because the memory that Android had pop up when, oh crap. Victor. I'm like, what's his name? When Victor, does his little magic, was talking about Nova 17 and how, and it just all kind of merges together. And it's like, oh, there's just a bunch of scientists there. We shouldn't have to shoot anybody. And why? But why do they want to go? And 3's like, I have a bad feeling about this. I don't want to go. We should not go. And he just was trying everything without being like, no, we can't go. He was trying everything around it.
Yes.
And 2 automatically is thinking he's just feeling kind of down in the dumps or crappy because of Sarah.
Right.
And he's like, that's not it. You guys just aren't listening to me.
Right.
Maybe if he said it in French.
I just have a feeling, something in my gut tells me we don't need to be here.
Right. I just feel like if he said it in French, maybe they'd have listened. I don't know. Well, the android. Android is acting kind of different, but not weird different. Not really. But she calls the whole crew up to the bridge, and she turns, and I love it because they're like, oh, this is a different look. She wants compliments, but obviously does it in the android kind of way.
Right.
And I love it because 6 is like, oh, did you do something different with your hair? Kind
right.
of joking. And I was dying because I kept getting texts, and it was a couple days later because I had to work, so I couldn't live tweet this. And it was Kim, our friend over at the Nerd Element. She's like, oh my God, the android is cracking me up.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, okay. And I hadn't watched it. And then when I finally watched it, I totally get it. Because she's like, this is a new outfit. And it was very revealing for the android.
Yeah.
And just a different look altogether. But it was just really funny. And then later, which I'm sure we're going to talk about it in a few. The stuff that she talks about, just really kind of coming out of left field for the android.
Right.
But
something I did not expect ever to come out of her mouth.
No, but it's funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Let me see. They're headed to Nova 17 and, well, kind of, sorta, but mostly yes. And she boosts her sensors and she's like, well, there's security sensors all around, but everything seems unmanned. Well, that seems odd. Why are you going to have a ton of security bots if there's nothing to guard?
Right.
So, thankfully, or not, however you want to look at it, the team uses the backdoor override that Dr. Shaw gave to 2 to disable the satellites. But the only way they can use those is if they got close enough for the security satellites to possibly destroy them.
Right.
So it was a gamble, and it works. And 3 is kind of torn that it works, is what I'm thinking.
Right, yeah. I have a feeling that he probably would have rather died there on the ship than go down to Nova 17.
Yes, that's true. But this I thought was kind of interesting too. We have Android goes off to talk to 3 after he left, and she wanted to talk to him in private. She's like, well, I didn't want to say this in front of everybody else, but I detect something I haven't seen in you before. And he's like, what, anger? And she's like, no, fear. And he stopped for that split second.
Right.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I'm sorry. I have to say it. Very typical kind of over manly response.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't want anybody to know this.
Yes. Yeah. He's not going to admit that he's scared of anything. That's just the macho in 3.
Right. But, she's like, I'm worried about you. And after they had that kind of little bonding moment last episode, I feel like he would be a little more receptive to it. But he's just like, yeah, no, the information's just not reliable because, you got it from Victor and he could have planted that. You don't know. And I loved it because Android here is like, listen, you said you'd give him a chance, that you weren't going to be all, like, questioning and non-trusting of Victor.
Right.
So what's going on? And he's kind of murmur.
Yeah.
Grumble, grumble, I'm 3. Never mind. It's pretty much how that went.
Exactly. And then she goes on to 2.
And this is what I was talking about. This is what Steve and I had messaged back and forth, and Kim, and I'm cracking up. Because Android's like, yes, I have to acknowledge that things are different now that I've met Dr. Shaw, the person who I look like, and I'm special. But Sue's asking about her look, not explicitly talking about what Android jumped to.
Right.
Because Android's like, do you mean my boob? And she's like, not exactly.
But.
And I love it. Because she's like, oh, it's a mixture of, what was it? A mixture of sexy and functional or something along those lines. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, well, you can teach me because your boobs always look nice. I mean, this would be the weirdest conversation with anybody anyway.
Right. I mean, you're talking basically to a child
and
in a grown-up body, and 2 is just, she doesn't know what to say. Right. And it's hilarious.
It is. It's so funny. And she's like, can you stop saying that? And she's like, what? Boobs? Boobs, boobs. Yes, basically I was waiting for her to like break out in like the Spam song, only with boobs.
Right.
I mean, 2 and Android hug, and it's like, thanks for being a friend. And as she walks away, she just keeps saying, boobs, boobs, boobs. And then she goes around the corner, she's like, boobs. I was like, I'm a 2-year-old now because I'm cracking up. I'm so juvenile. Right. I was just expecting, like, every so often her to just, like, almost look at the camera and be like, mouth, boobs.
Yes.
It was funny. It was a weird look, though, for her. Because we're so used to seeing her as, you know, in her Android clothes or in, like, just full kind of regular clothing when she had her chip in. So it is just strange for me to see this weird mixture that she's trying to work. But I don't know. I didn't think it looked bad. I'm just like, where is she shopping?
Yeah. She had to make it, I think.
Oh, jeez. Well, she did a pretty good job then. Let's put.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's head down to the facility. 3, 6, and 2 arrive at the facility, which seems rather empty. And I love it because she's like, okay, nothing's here. Let's go.
Let's go.
We're done, right? No. They keep searching, and look, there's stasis pods. There's, 4 of them?
Right.
And 2's like, wait, they're just like me. They're like me. But are they? But they look around, and I think 3 was like, well, there's only 4. It's not bad, right? We can figure this out. And then 6 is like, guys, a little worse than we thought. Opens the door, and there's just hundreds of these pods everywhere.
You go, this is not good.
No, because 2 is remembering the Dwarf Star conspiracy that Future 5 told Android about, and of course, we have no clue because 5 didn't exactly fill her in.
No.
So what can it be? Well, it gets a little worse because our present 5, is finding out more information that all of those people in the stasis pods have identities with backstories, parents, and their ages range from 5 to 65. They're not just the army that they were worried about. They're supposed to be integrated into everything. So they can be spies, or worse, they can just be taking over. And who would know before it's too late?
Exactly. And who could stop them?
Right. Oh, and then here's our helpful friends from Mikkei. Or are they? So basically everything is halted there because Mikkei decides to show up, and you have that second in command that was a giant pain in the ass who comes in, and it's just like gun in everyone's face when 2 is like, listen, we're cooperating. You can come down. We will talk to you. But we're not giving up our guns because we're cooperating with you, and you guys are all pointing guns at us.
Right. And you go, where's Trufant?
Right. Which made me feel like, is this really a Mikkei ship, or is it something different?
Right.
Where is Trufant? What do you think?
I don't know.
On one of the many other ships?
Yeah, you would think that she might have been interested in checking this out, but maybe not.
Well, I mean,
I'd
she's
see
not
that
going to be everywhere.
none of them got on the phone to let her know what was going on, that's for sure.
Which makes the efforts of that number 2 even stranger.
Right.
Because she seemed to want to come in and just shoot them all and be done.
Yes. Yeah, it was a very Lucado move of her.
Yes.
Seeing that it was the actress that played Lucado.
I was looking at her going, wait, why do I know that face? Now that explains everything.
Yes.
So there's a Mikkei doctor who confirms that, oh yes, these are all assimilated humans. So they're not real people. And 2's like, listen, you have enough. You can have a GA case against Dwarf Star and arrest our little sleazy guy, Alexander Rook. And they're like, oh, that'd be great, except he's been missing for 2 months or so. It's like, wait, what do you mean he's missing? And then as the story unfolds, it makes me wonder, what do you think happened to him?
Oh, if I had to guess, more than likely what we saw of him in the past was his simulant.
Ah.
And now one of our invading forces is probably taken over that body, and that's why he's disappeared.
Ah, interesting. I didn't think about that. I just thought maybe the wall took him. Because, if it goes one way, I'm sure it can go the other.
Oh, absolutely.
But, so, let's come back to the Mikkei commander. So, guy in charge is like, alright, we need to keep a few of these simulants so we can discuss what's happening and find out, get to the bottom of things. Okay, that seems reasonable. Until he says, oh, and destroy the rest. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because 6, of course, is our guy who's like, shouldn't you let them live? They're people. And he's like, no, not under the law. He's like, they could be good people. They can be on our side. And he's like, well, how do you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, he's setting him up.
Exactly.
So do they know about 2 is what I'm wondering at this point, or do they just suspect?
Well, the second in command definitely started suspecting. Now, I don't know the commander did.
Okay. Yeah, they were just gung-ho. They're like, all right, let's blow it all up. It's done.
Right.
Which it probably would have been for the better, because then the second in command couldn't have been, doing her stupid, sleazy crap. Which it wasn't sleazy. It was just, I don't know, not good.
Right.
But let's talk about the weird wall. Well, we have 3, freaking out. And the closer they get to this wall, because he keeps, hearing something, and he doesn't know what it is.
Right.
And it's like, okay, is it this dream? And then I automatically think, is he in some sort of thing like 6 was?
Right.
And it could be all a simulation. Who knows? Because they're searching and they end up finding the wall. And again, in quotes there. And they're like, what is this anomaly? It's like, it's weird. It's red. This doesn't seem right. But then 3 sees it and it's like, this is the same thing in my dream. Something's not right. He's like, I've been here. I've been here before. What the hell? And then he starts having a seizure, which I was like, oh my God, what is it? What is that wall thing doing? And 2 and 6 are like, we need to take him back to the ship for medical help. And they're like, nobody's going anywhere until we figure out what this is. What the hell? If it's infecting somebody, why do you want it to be worse?
Right. Get away from it as soon as possible.
Right. I mean,
run. Do not pass go. Do not collect.
I mean, are you trying to get to the upside down? What are you doing? Get away from the wall. Quit touching things. It's basically what I'm thinking. Well, the team finds the old sickbay, which apparently has very minimal amounts of anything. But if you're working on just simulants, do you really need anything in sickbay?
No.
Well, 3 comes back around and, they explain to him what happened and he's like, okay. And 2 asks him, what did you mean that you were here before? And he tells them about dreaming about it. And, well, I would freak out too if I'm thinking that, all right, I must be going crazy because I'm dreaming about this. I'm hearing voices in my head. And of course, the lieutenant walks in and 3's like, there's voices. I hear them. How can you not? Which I guess should have given us kind of an idea of what was going on, but I still didn't catch it. Seriously. Did you have an idea? Because I had no idea for most of this episode.
No, I didn't either.
he does tell the Raza crew we have to leave because they're coming. That's what she said in my dream. We have to go. And they're like, all right, I don't know what's going on. You need to bring it down a notch because they're looking at you like you're crazy.
Right.
And next thing we know, the doctor sedates him. Okay. But, Doc, did you bring your own sedation, or is this stuff that you just happen to find lying around in sick bay? That could be who knows how old.
Yeah.
So, 2 tells the commander, listen, I need to leave because something's not right with him. We need to get him help. And he's like, yeah, that's not happening. Come on, Commander. Get it together. Things aren't right. You should know that by now.
Right.
Well.
But then he turns complete jerk.
Oh my gosh. A level we haven't seen.
No. Once he decides to wake up one of the simulants and torture it to figure out what's going on.
Yes, but a whole different level of torture.
Oh, exactly. This was scary.
Yes, because he knows about the simulants and knows that they have the, what are they called? The microbots in their body. I forget they're called. The nanos. And that it'll keep repairing them so they can't do physical harm.
Right.
And so when they were doing this weird thing, it was, what was it, shooting it right into the nerves or right into the brain or both?
Right into the brain.
Ugh.
They were causing the brain to think it was in pain.
That was messed up.
Yeah, big time.
And the whole time they're like, what are you doing? Our Raza crew at least are the good guys, like totally the good guys here.
Right.
I was just getting so ticked off that they were doing this too, because I'm like, this is a person. Okay, fine, you don't see them as a person, but you are seriously torturing somebody. They just didn't care.
No. You go, maybe we shouldn't be on Mikke's side after all.
It makes me wonder how bad the other ones are if Mikke is doing this. Of course, right. I don't think our people knew Mikke was doing this or had any idea that they knew about simulants exactly.
Capable of doing something like this either.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, after all the fun and torture, they're like, all right, listen, we've got to do something because, we have 6 and 2, like, what's going on? We have to do something. This isn't right. Well, then we find out 3 woke up, like, knocked out the doctor and fought his way out of sickbay. And now, who knows where he is?
Exactly.
But we have stupid second in command. Oh, we should kill him.
Yeah.
Why?
Shoot to kill.
Why are you so dead set on killing him? Somebody needs to say something.
There has to be a reason. That's right. Has to be a reason.
Well, finally the commander's like, all right, don't kill him. Just wound him.
Right.
Just use stun, whatever. If possible. Like, it was a big if. It made me wonder. I'm like, what is going on? And that's all I kept saying is, what is happening?
Right.
Well, the second in command locks up the simulant that they were torturing and tells him to turn around. And he doesn't want to turn. So she puts a gun to his head and she's like, turn around. So he turns around and then she takes off the device. She's like, oh, you'll have your turn soon. I'm like, oh my God, she's one of them.
Yep.
So is she a simulant though, or is she just like taken by the alien?
Oh.
Okay. Well, yes. And you said season 2.
Yeah, actually, she's just a simulant for now.
Oh, okay. But she knows what's up.
Right. Yes. She's one of the spies.
Okay.
And we fortunately, 5 finds that out here in a little bit.
Thank God 5 decided to hack in.
Yep.
Because somehow that doesn't sound bad when we say that it was very helpful. But she
turns around and becomes a worse commander than the commander because she tells everybody to kill 3.
Right. And no reason. Again, no reason given.
Well, no, she says, 3's the one who killed the commander.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That she just shot in the head.
Right, that she just killed.
I was like, holy crap. That was crazy that she just walked up, did it, and there's like nobody else in the whole room. Really?
Right.
That seems odd too.
It did.
But 2 and 6 find 3. Ugh, these numbers. He's knocked out by the anomaly. So they find him before the soldiers do, so at least that's a good thing.
Right.
And he's unconscious. He doesn't know what's going on around him, but he is talking to the aliens who look like all the Raza members.
Yes.
And why are they talking to him? Well, they explain, your mind is too primitive. We have to do this so you understand what's happening. But he also finds out that Alexander Rook had the technology because he forced simulants. Sorry. because they gave it to him. They just wanted to make bodies for themselves, and he just wanted to make a bunch of money.
Exactly.
So it worked out, kind of. But they also say how they basically burned up their galaxy.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder.
Yes, it does.
Which universe are you in? Which galaxy? What are you doing? Again, I go back to like Howard the Duck with those weird things coming down. Yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I know there's people out there listening that know what I'm talking about. Weird aliens coming through. Well, the doctor, who is now kind of sort of in charge, even though he's not military, they find Sue and our crew, and the Mikkei soldiers are all ready to shoot, without question. And Sue's like, listen, this isn't how it's going down. Because they explained, the lieutenant's one of the simulants, and she was sent in early because they've been sending people everywhere. And of course they're like skeptical about this, but Five manages to send the picture down to a computer, basically. And oh, look, here she is. Now I still would think that they'd be a little skeptical because they're like, well, if she can crack this code, how can she not just, put that picture in? So I get that the soldiers were like, wait a minute, so she's not one of us? But the doctor, I thought, would be a little more skeptical about it.
Right.
I'm kind of surprised. But he tells his soldiers anyway, all right, go find her, grab her before it's too late. Well, again, because she not only has the simulant that was woken up to be tortured, she opened up the other 3 that were hanging out in there. Because nobody was over there watching her.
And she's opened the portal for the invasion to begin.
Right. Which was, it was crazy what was happening. She's standing in front of it almost like she's praying. I don't know if you caught that. It was very strange.
Right, yes.
So 2's like, all right, 3 and 6, get back to the Marauder. Me and the doctor are headed for the Mikkei. We need to get out of here. And, well, that kind of didn't work out so well.
No, not at all.
So, yes, 3 and 6 make it to the Marauder, and they're talking to her, and she's like, all right, we're cut off, because all you see is this, like, black smoke monster. Aliens everywhere, and they're attacking the people, and they haven't taken over any of the simulant bodies, so that's good.
Right.
But, like, all the soldiers are pretty much done for. And they get in a room, and the doctor and Sue, they're like, okay, there's got to be a way we can shut down the reactor, and it'll kill the power going to it. Yeah, we can do this. And he's, like, looking at her like she's lost her mind.
Right. You go, uh-oh.
Right. And she's like, you have to make a decision. He's like, you're right. And he calls in some numbers, and of course, 2 doesn't hear what's happening on the Mikkei, and they're like, are you sure? He's like, yes, do it. And she turns around, he turns around, looks at 2, and is like, okay, I've called in a nuclear strike. She's like, but we're down here. And he's like, yeah, sorry. And then he shoots himself. I'm like,
right.
What the hell? That is a hell of a way to get out of it. It's like, oh, yes, this was very bad. I should not have done this. But now that I have, I gotta go.
Yeah. I'm checking out now.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Well, 2 is not making it to the ship, obviously.
Right.
5 is on the Raza talking to the Mikkei. He's like, listen, my person is down there. You can't do this. You need to give her time. And they basically cut her off.
Right.
And she even tries to destroy the bomb. And it's like, yeah, no.
Right. Yeah, Mikkei has other weapons to intercept our bomb to blow up their bomb.
Right. And then what we see is the Raza watching what they assume is the final seconds of 2 and then an explosion. And I was like, holy crap, they're really killing everybody off. I'm like, all right, I guess if you're not getting a next season, you're like, oh, I'm going to scorched earth here. Quite literally with that, but.
Right.
But is she dead? Maybe, maybe not, because the android detects the ship leaving right before the explosion. Okay, maybe she managed to get to the destroyer, but that's not what we've seen. We've seen her get knocked out and being dragged.
Right.
And I kept thinking it was maybe another simulant somehow was awakened. Why are they dragging
able to tell
her?
that she was a simulant as well and wanted to add her to their horde there.
Yeah, except that wasn't what it is.
No.
She's on the Marauder, and then she's like, wait, why are we in FTL? And then she's like, wait a minute, this isn't right.
I'm handcuffed.
And Boone's looking at her, and he's like, yeah, this isn't your Marauder. and I'm not your boon. And he just smiles. He's like, ah, ha, ha. Well, I saved your life. You should be happy. But why did he save her life? Where are they going? And what will our crew have to do?
Yes.
It went very, like, Batman theme show right there.
Right.
Oh, it's like, what will our crew have to do to get 2 back?
And we know what's going to happen.
Do we?
Yes.
Yeah,
we
I know.
Get back to Rio.
I don't
And
want.
hopefully stupid Masaki will do something smart.
Or do something so stupid that Rio takes her out. Who knows?
Well, yeah, but Rio taking her out may allow our crew to escape.
Ah, interesting.
Yes.
So, I kind of went crazy and ran over this whole episode, but what do you guys think? Did you all realize that it was the same aliens from season 2? Because I completely forgot. So, we want to know.
They were at Rook's place. One actually got into Baboon.
What did you guys think? Do you think that this was a good big bad for this episode, this season? Are we going to see more? Are they done? I don't know.
Yeah, we just added another ball to juggle, and you go, all right, Joseph. We'll be able to juggle all these as we come to get closer to the end, or are we going to have one heck of a cliffhanger ending to the season?
Right? Oh my gosh. All right. Well, our website is mostly up. We're still working out some kinks. But fangirlzone.com is alive. So I've gotten stuff over. I just haven't figured out the new stuff yet. It takes time. I need like a WordPress for dummies. But Fangirl Zone is alive and well. Sean and Steve now have their Fangirl Zone emails. So mine is Sean@fangirlzone.com and Steve is Steve@fangirlzone.com. Easy enough. And of course we have the Fangirl Zone podcast @gmail.com, which I will be working on a sci-fi talk, so that way it would be easier. But you can always email us because we always want to know what you guys think. You can find that information on the contact page over at fangirlzone.com. I got that much ready.
Yay!
And the old posts are up, so that'll port it over. So wherever you're listening to this at too, we ask that you rate and review us because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Make sure you tell your friends if they're watching this to tweet with you and hashtag Renewed Dark Matter. We do hope you're enjoying the podcast. So for this episode of Fangirl Zone, I am Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve. Perhaps you could offer me some guidance. I noticed you're very adept at packaging yours.
And until next time.